right, we're here with Vice President of Regulatory Affairs, Marc Ratner, also a former Executive Director of Nevada State Athletic Commission. Now you've been in MMA longer than boxing, right, Marc?
I have, yes. I'm going in my 20th year here.
Wow. And we're now starting the Paramount Plus era. We had a 6-week break. Are you rejuvenated and ready? Was it too long?
Yeah, I wish this week we would have had our first Apex fight, just to get back in the swing. But we're geared up full time this week for the boxing and the MMA. I'm excited about the boxing. I'll give you one that really nobody knows about. In boxing, to the best of my knowledge, there's never been video monitors at the judges' stations. Think about it. I mean, in boxing, you just don't see it. And we've always done that at the UFC. But a lot of times, judges will be sitting there and they'll see the back of the fighter in the corner punching. You don't know if the punches are landing or if they're on their arms. And I've been advocating this for a long time. Why not? Why can't we have video monitors? Well, nobody was going to spend the money, and the commissions weren't. But once it was ours, and we're doing it.
So this is just Zuffa Boxing,
right?
That's going to offer that,
right?
Okay.
We'll have electronic scoring.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever roll with them at all, or are you still more on the MMA side?
Both.
Both. What's your role with Zuffa Boxing?
I think I would be of console.
Got it. So you're nowhere close to retiring, Marc, right? It seems like you're still chugging along. You're always cage side, octagon side, or ring side.
Yeah.
You're still loving it.
Still loving it. I'm trying not to, the Abu Dhabis, the Sydneys, Saudis, too long for me on the airplane. Mm-hmm. 16, 17 hours. Domestically, I still go to as many as I can, and Europe, I can 9 or 10 hours is fine. But anything more than that's too long.
You're done with the NFL? Or you still with them?
I'm still with the NFL. We just finished our season, and there's a possibility. And I said they asked us, "What dates are you available for the postseason?" Mm-hmm. And we always put it. And so we didn't get a wild card. We didn't get a divisional. We went to the Super Bowl last year. They took us. So maybe next week, after it will be for the conference championship. We have a chance to get that.
Wild card weekend was amazing, wasn't it? The first four games
were the best.
They were all within like the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. The game was still in the air.
And if you missed an extra point or a field goal, you're below the game.
Yeah. What's his name? Justin Tucker? No, the guy from Baltimore that they had to release because he had his.
There was a guy named Loop or something.
Yeah, Loop replaced Tucker. Tucker was, what was that his name? Tucker?
Think so.
The kicker that's Hall of Fame destined. I forget his name.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if Baltimore was like, oh no, because that guy used to be money, but he had those issues, allegations or whatever.
I mean, some of these guys haven't missed an extra point and they miss it. I know.
Yeah.
Marc, what are you hearing about the other PIs that they have, and primarily Mexico? Will there be like a new resurgence of Mexican fighters in the UFC?
I think eventually we had a fire there, mm-hmm. and that it's still being repaired, so that hurts us a little bit. But yeah, the Brandon Marinos, there's a Mexican Morales, I think his name is.
Michael Morales?
Yeah, Michael.
He's from Ecuador, but he trains and lives in Mexico.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid is really tough.
Yeah.
So I think that PI, especially when it gets full back running, will have the road to the UFC in Singapore, I think in May, and so that PI is doing good. I believe someday you'll have one in Abu Dhabi.
What would you say stands out more? We're now going through maybe our 3rd and 4th generation of UFC fighters. What do you think stands out, the difference between maybe the old guard fighter and the newer fighter?
The first big difference is that fighters are training now at 14, 15, 16. By the time they get to us, they might have already fought maybe 10 times. And so they're starting earlier, and it's a different game than it was. 20 years ago, that's for sure. And we never had calf kicks back then, and now that's a huge weapon. Yeah, the sport is it's always changing, and there's new things and new techniques.
The last time we talked to you, we were talking about the Apex and some of the additions that they were doing to it. Now it's the Meta Apex. Will that affect anything at all? Will anything be different other than just the name?
Well, it's being remodeled right now. I think for the boxing, it's right around 800 or it'll seat. It's like it's a great arena for seating. Everybody will be able to see, and yeah, Apex is it's technologically unbelievable. It's a great television studio, and this next weekend for Paramount, they got boxing one night, and so their whole world is around this weekend.
How much of your week or month gets spent talking about the White House card and how big that can be and all the different possibilities?
When people ask me about the White House card, and it's whether it's officials, whether it's fighters, everybody wants to fight on it, and that's natural. But I just I said, that's Dana. We'll make those decisions. It's still 4 months away, 5 months away, and June 14th's the date. I've seen at the White House where it's going to be on the lawn, and I don't know how many seats will be there for that part. I understand there will be some big screens on the ellipse, so a lot of fans can come outside and see it.
Have you ever been to the White House, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah? How many times?
Actually, I'd say 3 times. One back when Papa Bush was president. A friend of mine was being sworn in as an ambassador, so I've been there. And a couple times since then. But I was there less than a month ago. We had some hearings in D.C., and so yeah, we had a tour around 8:30 that night. You can't take your phones in there, but
in the White House at all?
Yeah, they take it away.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe because where we were, and I could put my toes in the Oval Office. That was
Wow.
Well, this might be silly, but I remember part of your job early on was to get sanctioned in all the states and all the provinces
Right.
in Canada, and you accomplished that. But DC's not a state. Do they have their own commission, or is this where maybe you're going to head that department for the White House?
excuse me. It's the White House is federal land, and the Parks and Recreation are the ones who I think. And so we're talking to them. We got to find out exactly what the parameters are. But yeah, I'll be involved for sure. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Amanda Nunes has no opponent because Kayla Harrison suffered an injury a few days ago. It looks like they're not going to replace that fight, so maybe they'll preserve it for a later date. But I wanted to talk to you. You've seen combat sports, for many years. Is Amanda possibly the greatest female combat sports athlete you've ever seen?
Certainly one of them. I was looking forward to this fight because you got to give credit still to Ronda for what she did for the sport, and I think that people sort of forget about her legacy, and she's been gone a long time now. But for me, I go back to Gina Carano, who was a tremendous kickboxer as well as an MMA practitioner. So the sport in women's has really evolved, and but
Who were some of the best female boxers you ever saw?
best ever, Holly Holm in her prime, Christy Martin in her prime, and Christy Martin used to fight on the DK cards and King's cards. Maybe Chavez would be the main. I mean, she got a lot of exposure. We had a lot of women's boxing when I was with the commission. I'm still a proponent and advocate for 3-minute rounds. I see that Laura Serrano, she wants to do it. And it would be a change in culture, but there's no reason, physiological or health-wise, if our girls in MMA can go 5-minute rounds, you can't tell me that boxing still has to do 2-minute rounds. The only counter argument that I hear every once in a while is that sometimes you wouldn't have the same kind of action in a 3-minute round, but if they train right and really start thinking about it, it should be 3-minute rounds.
We had a lot of great moments in 2025, but one moment or one particular technique was a bad moment, and that's eye pokes. We've heard some referees and judges say that they're taking a look to maybe tighten that up. What would be your input on how to, I guess, fix eye pokes?
Well, you'll never be able to fix it as long as you can use your fingers. But what I have told the referees before every fight, and they know now, I want a real hard warning in the dressing room. Mm-hmm. Before you go out there, say, look, we don't want to lose a fight over an eye poke. Keep your hands closed. We're gonna, we're warning you now, but this is a real warning, and I want you guys to be aware of it. So we're looking at it from that standpoint. I don't know how much you can change the gloves anymore. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to grapple. So.
Right.
But it's a problem.
Have you heard anything about Tom Aspinall and his eventual return? It reminded me, growing up, of when Sugar Ray Leonard's career was cut off because of a detached retina? Mm-hmm. And now that can be fixed instantly, right. But back then it was a career killer. He did come back 3 years later, but...
We had to get, the commission, we had to get all kinds of legalities there because it was against the rules back then. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Ray Leonard came back and was every bit as good a fighter as he ever was. And I don't think that Aspinall's was a detached retina.
No.
But he was supposedly going to have some kind of operation, and yeah, I'd love to see him fight.
It's unfair all the flack he catches for not continuing. You've probably seen a lot of this in both sports.
The social media, it's good, but it's bad. And social media really went after him, and it was tough. But he's a big guy, and I look forward to seeing him fight.
I know I'm jumping around here, but you're a wealth of knowledge and history in so many sports. Who did you score Leonard versus Hagler for?
Now I was in the Leonard's corner, and as an inspector, and I was in his dressing room before the fight with Angelo and some of his guys.
The great Angelo Dundee, yeah.
And he fought a real smart fight because he knew to rally at the last minute of every round, and caught the judge's eyes. I had no problem with winning the fight, but I haven't really watched it close since then. But being in the corner, I can remember his son Little Ray was in the corner there in the dressing room with us, and it was at the pavilion where there was just a piece of plasterboard between Hagler's dressing room and Leonard's. So I do remember that very clearly.
Is that one of your favorite fights? I'm sure you got a lot of them, but does it make a top five?
Yeah, that would be for pure action. You got to go to Hagler and Hitman.
Yeah.
One that I like to talk about that nobody talks about was I think it was Holyfield and Dokes. Just an unbelievable fight.
Michael Dokes?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I have to rewatch that one.
Yeah, and then we've had so many big fights. My two infamous fights are the Fan Man and the Bite fight. And
Biting the ear of Holyfield, that one?
Right. And Holyfield was also in the Fan Man fight with Riddick Bowe. And Mills Lane was a referee in both of those. I mean, I say this, he had the Grand Slam of bizarreness. He had those two fights. He had Henry Akinwande against Lennox, who we had to get rid of Henry because he kept on DQing. He had Oliver McCall, who went crazy in the ring, if you remember.
That's right.
Remember he had a breakdown in the ring? Mm-hmm. Mills was the referee.
He was crying, yeah, that's right. The British guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm bringing back something. I've already gotten your take on it, but since then, we've had another event. The stadium show at Allegiant. You ride with Dana on this. You like the arena.
Yes.
But you were there when Crawford fought Canelo.
I was there.
That was a monster event. I don't know if you've gone to the WWE events.
I did. I was
Okay.
there so many too.
Why is UFC letting these guys get the best of them? Boxing and WWE. You're all part of the same umbrella. Go in there and just have one show, thump your chest, flex, break records, whatever, and then go back to the arena. That's all we're asking. But a stadium show, Mark, are you not sold yet after seeing all that?
I'm not 100% sold. I'll always like the arenas better. There was a lot of, it was 70,000 there. And 50,000 had bad seats or something. They were watching on the screen.
But it was still an event.
No, it was an event. It was fun. I thought Crawford won 8 rounds. And the judges, if you look at the scorecards, if Canelo won the last round, it would have been a draw.
Yeah.
And that fight was not an even fight.
And I felt like Canelo was kind of tuning out as the fight progressed. Almost like had he known the scores, maybe we can talk about open scoring, but had he known it, maybe he steps on the gas a little bit. He looked lost, he looked defeated. And then I saw the scores, I was like, wait a minute, this was closer than I thought.
I think that Crawford's speed, something, because he can never trap him in the corner. He could, just couldn't do anything. So I was, and I believe in my heart that Crawford will come back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good young boxers out there.
Oh, even though he just retired, you think he comes back?
Someday, yeah.
Okay.
What about Canelo? Do you think he can make a comeback in his career?
The money is so unbelievable that he got paid. He shouldn't have to fight again, but he's a fighter, so.
NIL. We talked about this before we started the interview,
Okay.
but your thoughts on it? You're close to the college game. You've reffed the college game. You're a supporter of the UNLV athletics.
I have no problem with players making money now. My problem, in my mind, is the amount of turnover. And I don't know in football, they might have had 40 guys come in this year, something like that, for some huge amount. I know in basketball for sure that Coach Pastner, who's a very good coach, has been around the game a long time. He's got 11 new players. One guy from last year's on the team. So
So you can't really build a team then, right? Because it's always just a new set of. It's like being a 7th grade teacher. You just get a new bunch of 6th graders. Maybe one repeats. I don't know.
No, it's as a fan, it's hard to get allegiance. I mean, we used to have a big thing on senior night. It was such a big deal. They've been there a couple of years. You got to know them. So most of these kids who come now, maybe there's 12 home games, 14 home games. That's all you ever see them. And so it's pretty hard to have a big night for senior night, but they still have a celebration.
So was NIL at the end of the day better or worse for college football and basketball?
It's the NIL is it's an unfair playing field because some schools going to have more money than others. They said that there's a budget of 20 million or something, but I don't know that for sure. But what I believe is, I don't like to see these guys you finally get a high school kid that you recruit, and it's tough to be a high school player to even get on a team now with all these NIL stuff, and you got to re-recruit them. You never stop recruiting. Then you got to keep them happy.
Right.
But I'd like to have a rule where if you're an underclassman and you transfer in the portal, that you got to stay more than 1 year. Now that's unrealistic, probably, and probably is not legal with the way the laws are and stuff. That would be my way of fixing.
What about coaches? Do you think because they're going to have so many new players every year, what's the leash on them? UNLV basketball is not doing too well, right? But we've kind of gone through this, but some of them coaches have gotten 3-4 years. How long do you think coaches will have now when we're judging their performance?
Well, I don't think a coach would ever, with the NIL, it's got to sign at least a 3-year contract, I would think. And the other thing, but I believe Coach Mullen and Coach Pastner, these are big time coaches. And the whole idea in my mind is the Big 12. And I do believe in the next 5 years that UNLV will be in the Big 12.
Hmm.
And that's just my belief. I've got no inside information, but look at next year's league. I think Cal Davis is in it. I mean, there's a, I don't know if it's Northern Iowa, something in the Mountain West. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Texas, El Paso, those teams aren't going to draw as well. And I also believe that the Pac-10 and Mountain West should have merged. There's no reason to have two different leagues. And neither one is as strong as they could be. So that's my belief.
We always end with Mount Rushmores and GOAT talk.
Right.
I'm going to throw you a different curveball. Right now, I feel like I'm in a museum of combat sports. So we'll go with the Mount Rushmore route. Just what are four, if we can walk around, what are four of your favorite collectibles or moments that you have here in your office that you can show us?
Well, I mean, one of them is getting New York.
Right?
That was a big moment and took us, 8 years, 9 years to get it.
20 trips to Albany for
Yeah,
you, right?
And all this in the winter. So that's a big thing.
So this one right here, that was the first one.
But yeah, that's the first one, and this is something that I really like because that's me as a referee. And then after we finally got a vote, it was 114 to 26. Here, Governor Cuomo signed the bill, so it's 10 years ago. It was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll take a walk around. Obviously,
Oh, I'm already seeing one of my favorites. Okay, we'll go
the
ahead.
bite fight. And there's Mills Lane. There I am.
Little does Mike Tyson know you're about to hand him a bill for $3 million, right?
Later on, yeah.
Was it 2 or 3?
3.
Wow.
10% of 30 million. Here's Hagler, and you can see Angelo's face there. So that's
Oh, that was before the Hagler fight?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when he's being wrapped. All right, let's see what else you want to see. One of the best fights, Castillo Corrales.
Oof, legendary.
Yeah.
And this is you back in the Southwest Conference days, I think? Was that what it was called?
I was referee in Missouri there. It's one of my favorite. I was a field judge next to the umpire, a little FU there. Here's a Cotton Bowl picture.
I just noticed that. That's funny.
So that was at the Cotton Bowl with Alabama and Texas Tech.
The 15 years of service for the UFC, how close are you to 20? Or what did you just tell us?
About 4 months
4 months? Okay.
from now.
You gonna tell them to give you another one? Or how about a nice Rolex or something?
They're going to give you the most iconic picture. is
Look
Sonny-
at that.
Sonny Liston
Yeah.
and me.
Can you get in on that one, guys?
So
That's cool, man.
we don't know what the year is, but here's Ali holding the picture. You can just see
Oh, shit.
this picture. I was old enough to drive, and it was at the old Thunderbird, but I would say that it's over 60 years old, this picture.
Wow.
Look at that, Cassius Clay versus Floyd Patterson.
This was here at the convention center. Look at the price on the tickets. It was, I think ringside was $100 or something. Yeah.
Jeez.
A lot of history.
Lennox fighting Evander right here. And in those days, which probably still,
Lennox was awesome.
you had they were both champions, so the whole thing was who was going to have the scale first, who was going to get introduced first, so we flip a coin. And I always say the same thing. It's more important who leaves the ring last, not who gets introduced first. But
Did Hitman and Leonard ever get along at the end of the day or not? Yeah.
I
Because I know Duran and Leonard didn't get along.
I
much.
think now they all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this mutual respect. Rocky Balboa, Antonio Tarver, and I got to
How many movies have you been in?
Play to the Bone and that one,
Okay.
Rocky Balboa. And my other picture is Charlie Weiss yelling at me at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
What
He was
was
also
he
an
yelling?
offensive coordinator for the Patriots with Belichick for a few years, right? Prior to that.
Yeah, he got paid.
He's got Super Bowl rings. Yeah.
He's got a lot of money. Yeah.
Do you remember what he was telling you at that moment?
I do. He's saying, BYU got these Mormons we got the Catholics, they don't like each other, so you got to watch it. They said every time Brady Quinn, the quarterback, touches the ball, the BYU guys are grabbing his balls. Why can't you see that? I said, I'm at the sidelines next to you. He said, you got to see that.
Wow.
That's my Charlie White story.
And what's that right there? Is USADA testing you too? Did you get to 50 or what?
For my birthday, Dana gave it to me.
That's cool. What's the back? Is that all the states you?
Yeah, that's the map of.
Very cool.
Still got to get to Hawaii though.
I would, you know, Aloha Stadium isn't open yet.
Just do a fight night at the university.
At Blaisdell
Or Blaisdell. Blaisdell's 8,000. I think the university's 10 or 12.
Yeah.
You could do a fight night.
Last thing that I can show you is Oscar gave me this his statue, but I put a Triple G hat on it.
What was that moment?
When
When he beat like Chavez or something, or
I would imagine it's one. I don't know.
man, he bloodied Chavez up quick, huh? Like first round, I think he was like crimson, his whole face.
Because somehow Chavez had covered a cut and nobody saw it. He must either had makeup on from our doctors, but he was.
You know what else I remember about that fight? Closed circuit. So you've been through so many eras of pay-per-view, closed circuit, obviously satellite cable, and now streaming. You have a particular favorite, or is it all the same?
No, closed circuit was fun because it was like being there in a lot of ways.
You had to go to an arena or a movie
you
theater.
go to the convention center, and the fans would get crazy even when you're watching on a big screen.
Look at that poster.
Yeah, I mean, look at that fight. How old it is? It's like 40 years ago. That's what's amazing.
Mm-hmm. How many Hall of Fames are you in?
I don't know. I think 4 or 5 high schools.
What's that? Commissioner. Okay.
So now you have my history. Here's the International Boxing Hall of Fame. That's Lorenzo and Dana. I mean, for them to come back to Syracuse for that.
Oh, they went for your moment?
Yeah.
Wow. That's the International Boxing Hall of Fame. That is cool. I try and wear my T-shirt every time we have you on the show. I have it's Calistoga, New York, or something like that. What's it called?
Yeah,
something like that.
Canastota.
Look at that one goes. Holmes and Ali. Holmes used to be Ali's main training partner, right?
He's a sparring partner.
And then he got elevated to best jab ever.
I don't know, but
he had a nice jab.
Yeah, it's
stung. He's
straight left hand. Here's Evander, and this is right before the Fan Man. So,
what happened to Fan Man?
Passed away.
I think
like trespassing. What was the charges?
Trespassing, and he paid a fine. But he got beat up that night. I remember they had the big phones. And he landed in Bo's corner, and the Nation of Islam was in that corner with Mayor Berry and Reverend Farrakhan. So they were all corners, and they whacked him good. The guy who deserves the credit, and I know I've told you this before, that night at the Fan Man, Michael Buffer, he kept the crowd quiet. That's 1993 now. 2003, we would have thought it was a terror attack or something.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point. All right.
Well,
thank you for letting us into your
now
beautiful office, historical office.
Yeah, make sure you get a picture of the credentials. Your last.
Oh yeah, they're all lined up right there.
This is Super Bowl. I mean, there's but mostly boxing.
This is probably the most amazing part right here.